Hello launchers, I am Joshua from Launchcart, and I got a brand new feature that's just released. It's available in your Launchcart account right now, and it's called Abandoned Carts. So if you scroll down to the orders section and then click on Abandoned Carts, you'll see a screen similar to mine. You may or may not have data yet, but what we just rolled out is a new feature that will allow you to capture sales from people who abandon your site and don't order. Here's how it works. Let's say somebody visits your site, and this is a very typical scenario. They visit your site, they're browsing your products, they add some of your products to their cart, and then they go to their checkout page. And on the checkout page, they don't complete it and they leave your site. Well, we call that an abandoned user, and now we have the ability with Launchcart to follow up with those abandoned users via email and ask them to complete their checkout process. So before I explain what this page is, let me go down to the settings, and I'm going to go down to the abandoned carts page. And you can do this on your own. And you should have this enabled right now. You can turn it off, but we highly suggest you leave it on because typically it will increase your sales by 10 to 30% overnight just by having this feature turned on. And it's completely automatic. So here's how it works. Once you go there, you make sure it's turned on. You scroll down, and you'll see that the system, Launchcart, will send your abandoned cart users a series of emails. And we actually allow you to send up to 3 emails per every abandoned cart user. And you get to choose how often you want to send those emails or at what time frames. So right now, I have my first email to be sent to my abandoned cart user after 1 hour after they abandon the cart. You can customize the subject of that email. You can customize the abandoned cart email text that gets shown above the cart contents. Because what we do, or I should say what Launchcart does, is when somebody does abandon the checkout page, it will take all those products that they had in their checkout. They might have had 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, doesn't matter. They'll take a list of all those products, and it will include that list of products inside of the email when it asks them to complete their checkout process. And then you scroll down and you have the option to send a second email, and you can choose how many hours you want to wait before you send out that email after the first one. Once again, you can customize the subject and you can customize the body text, and then you have the option to send a third email. Once again, you can choose to have this email sent out 1 hour to 24 hours before the second email. So basically what you're doing is you're building a sequence of emails, anywhere from 1 email to 3 emails, and you're telling the system to send out these emails automatically to anyone who abandons your website after they've added items into their cart and after they've proceeded to the checkout process. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. It's really, really cool. Once again, it should be turned on and activated in your store, and you might already have some abandoned carts as of right now. So let's go back to the abandoned carts page under orders up here, and let me explain this table. So this table has some dummy data in it, but I'll explain it and I'll let you know what's going on. So this table is showing us all of our current abandoned carts for my Launchcart store. This first column of data shows me the date of when they abandoned the cart. Next, I get to see their name, I get to see their email address, and then I get to see their email status. Now, depending on when they abandoned the cart, they might be pending, or they might have already received emails. Once somebody's on the checkout page, there's a time delay before we start sending them emails, and that time delay is based on when you tell the system to send that first email out. So for example, these users down here in the green, they've all received email number 1, and they're queued up and ready to receive email number 2 and 3. They haven't received those yet, but they've all at least received email 1, and these top 2 users up here, they haven't received any emails yet because they're still pending. I'll explain what that is in a minute. But this at least shows you where a user is and how many emails they've received. Once a user receives email number 2, this will update and it will say email number 2 has been sent. If they've received a third email, it will say email number 3 has been sent. So it's very cool. Then over here on the next column, we have the recovery status. This tells us if a user has been recovered or not. So these 2 top users are pending, which means they haven't technically abandoned the checkout yet. We're still waiting. You know, when somebody goes to your checkout page and they're ready to check out, there's a time delay, and that time delay is basically the pending status. After that time delay, and it could be anywhere from an hour to 24 hours, depending on when you have your first email set to be sent out, they are still pending. Anything after that, then they are marked as abandoned. Then we scroll down and we see that these users, he's abandoned. This next user over here, he's recovered. So a user gets recovered simply by abandoning the cart first, and then they'll receive emails. And in those emails, they'll have links to complete their checkout. And what's very cool about this new feature is when they click on those links, it takes them back to the checkout page, but it has all their information pre-filled out. The only thing they need to do is enter in their credit card information and pay. But all the other information is filled out. It includes their email address. It includes any other information they gave us, like their billing address or their shipping address. It includes all of that information, and all they need to do is provide payment. Once they complete that checkout, the system marks them as recovered. And then that leads us to the next column over here, which is the total amount of revenue that was in their cart at the time of when they abandoned or recovered. So for example, this user right here, Josh at test.com, he had a cart total of $65.70. Okay, this user that was recovered, we recovered $25.20 from him. And then in this very last column, this is the recovery link column. And I'll show what this does. Basically what it does is if you hit this button right here, it will copy a unique link, a URL to your clipboard. And you can take this link and you can manually contact this user and give it to them. Maybe you want to manually send them an email, or maybe you want to chat with them and you want to send them this link. You can do that. You can manually give them this link. It's totally optional. But if they click on that link, it will open up a website. It'll take them back to your e-commerce store. It will take them back to the actual checkout page with their information pre-filled out. So this is the same URL that's inside of the abandoned cart emails that get sent out automatically. This last column is totally optional. You don't need to do this, but this is for those advanced users who may be contacting their users manually or independently outside of Launchcart, and you want to give them that link. I'll show how that works in a minute. But that's how this page works. That's how you can see the data. Depending on how active your e-commerce store is, you might already have data in here right now. So we've just turned this feature on. It's brand new. It was just released today. But go to your Launchcart admin, check it out by going to the abandoned cart section. I'm going to walk you through right now exactly how this works, just to make sure we're super clear on what this feature does. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my store, and I'm going to go to the shop page, and I'm going to walk you through a typical scenario of a visitor. So let's say somebody is on your site. I want you to imagine that this is your e-commerce store powered by Launchcart, and they're browsing your store, and they click on a product, and they add that product to their cart. So they hit the add to cart button. Maybe they already had a product in their cart, and then they hit checkout. Okay, so they're on the checkout page. And now here's where the magic happens, because typically what a user does, the first thing they'll enter is their email address. So I'm just going to go ahead and add an email address. This is a fake email address. And now they have the option to add the rest of the acquired information, like their shipping address or their billing address and so on. But as of right now, a second after, even sooner after that, right after they add their email address, the system currently marks them as a pending abandoned cart user. And I can prove it to you by going back to the abandoned cart page in my account and hitting refresh. And check this out. Here they are right here as a pending abandoned cart user. Now, if this user is still on the page and they're still adding their information, let's say they add in their first and last name. Let's say they add in their company. Okay, now as soon as they do that, it's that fast. Once again, you go back to your system, you hit refresh, and check this out. Now we have a name for them. So what is happening is that data is being captured, it's being saved in the database, and we are using this information so that when we send them those automated follow-up emails, we can pre-fill this checkout page next time when they come back to it with all their information. So they can continue adding their address, they can continue adding their city, and all their information. Doesn't matter if they add some of it or all of it. The only thing that we are not capturing is we are not capturing their credit card information. This is highly sensitive and secure data, so we do not save this. They will be required to fill this out next time. But we are capturing their address and their email address. And a lot of users do this. And you probably ask, well, Josh, why would a user come to my site, go all the way to the checkout page and not check out? Well, what we see is a lot of people, they're not necessarily ready to buy at that particular moment. Maybe they think they are, or maybe they get busy, or maybe they want to, browse a little bit more. But a lot of times we'll do this. A lot of users will come here, they'll get really close to checking out, but they just won't do it. Another big factor is a lot of people want to see the shipping price. So since shipping isn't calculated till after they enter in their shipping address, a lot of people will go to your checkout page, they'll put in their address just to see what the shipping price is and see if they want to pay. So here's the good news is once they do that, once again, we come back here, their information is saved here, and now the system will start to automatically follow up with that abandoned cart user, depending on what your settings are set to. So my settings down here under abandoned carts, I have my first email to go out to this user automatically after 1 hour. So the system is going to wait 1 hour after they've started that checkout process, and if it hasn't been completed, it's going to automatically start to follow up with them and send them emails. Now, those emails are going to have links in them, and those links are going to take them back to your store and back to your checkout page. And once again, let me close this tab out up here. Once again, it's going to pre-fill their info. So I'm going to prove to you how that works right now. So if I click the copy link button here, and if I paste this into my browser, here we go. It's going to load up the checkout page as if I were that user. And check this out. It just loaded up all their info, ready to go. All they need to do is input their credit card information and hit submit. So we make it really simple for these abandoned cart users to complete their checkout. And it includes all their products. It includes everything, the same pricing, the same totals, everything that was set. It's all ready to go. And it makes it really simple for these users to complete their checkout. Some users just need a little nudge. And this is exactly what this new feature does. It gives them that little nudge. It gives them a little reminder that, hey, you left some items in the cart. You may want to complete their checkout. It's totally optional if they do. But we see typically in our business an increase of 10 to 20% increase in sales just from this one automated feature. So that's how it works. I hope you can appreciate this. This is a brand new feature that everyone has access to. We just rolled it out today. I want to say thank you to our development team. Here at LaunchCart, we're really focused on pushing out new features that are going to make you extra money, and this is one of them. This is probably one of the greatest features that we've pushed out recently that will dramatically increase your sales overnight, and the nice thing is completely automated. So please leave us your feedback about this feature. Let us know what you like about it. It's a very smart feature. It's automatic. It should be turned on for your account. To double check the setting and see if it is turned on, just go down to your settings, scroll down to abandoned carts, and make sure that this checkbox is enabled. What we've done is we've already set some defaults for you. You can customize these if you want to, but we've activated all 3 emails in your account. We've already chose time frames that are preferred to send those emails out. We've included subject lines and abandoned cart email text. You have full control over this. You can customize all these emails if you want. You can turn them off. You can disable this whole feature, but we really advise you to keep it on because it is going to increase your sales. And if you have an active LaunchCart store already, go to your abandoned carts page right now and see if you have any data in here. If you have an active store and you have people checking out, you're going to see data show up in here, pretty often. Some of our users, they see data show up every day. So you can come back to this page, you can refresh it, and you can see new users, and you can see exactly what's going on with them, which emails have been sent to them, if they're abandoned or if they're recovered. It's great stuff, and it's available in your LaunchCart account today. So leave us a message wherever you're seeing this video, whether it's on Facebook, maybe it's inside of LaunchCart, maybe it's on YouTube. Wherever you are watching this video, there's probably a comment box somewhere. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Our developers love to hear from our users. Our team loves to hear from you, and we want to get your feedback. This has been Joshua. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.